Boiler Breakdown podcast hosted by Tanner Lee, Evan Webb, and Andrew Eiler.
That is Boilermaker, legend, and current Boston Celtics guard Carson Edwards. Welcoming everybody to another episode of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. Carson Edwards knows a thing or two about beating the Hoosiers.
Never lost.
Never lost to them. We can say that for quite a few guys in our program now as 9
including
straight.
A lot of students. Yeah, including a lot of students.
9 straight over the Hoosiers, 1,000. Now I don't have the number in front of me now. 1,843 days, I believe I'm counting. I titled the episode, whatever the title of the episode says, that's what it is, but I can't see it in front of me. So welcome, everybody. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co-host, Evan Webb. Our other co-host, Andrew Eiler, can't make it with us tonight, so you're all stuck with just the two of us. Apologizing to you in advance.
Yes, sir.
But
Strap in.
Boilers are rolling, Webby. They are rolling. Won both games last week over Wisconsin and Indiana. They've won 11 of the last 14. 2 of those 3 losses came when Sasha Stefanovic was out with COVID. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, what was that, 5 straight? Does that makes it? I think it was
5
1.
straight. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the game on Saturday was not. We'll get into it here in a little bit. Was not a pretty one, but I mean, it's like winning streak started after we lost the whatever happened at Minnesota. Otherwise, we're probably looking at 7 straight because we won Nebraska before, Northwestern before that, lost to Minnesota. Then we started out by beating Michigan State to start this 5-game winning streak. Actually, this is the first game of the winning streak that we haven't scored 70 points, and we almost got there.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't pretty on Saturday by any means, but a win's a win, especially in a rivalry series. But let's go back to the Wisconsin game on Tuesday. One that came down to the wire pretty much. It was an interesting matchup. Trayvon Williams did not have a very good game Tuesday night, but Zach Edey did, thankfully, and Jaden Ivey. That's kind of become the norm lately for the Boilers, those 2 freshmen.
Yeah, it's it's crazy to think about, especially where you looked at. I mean, where the season starts, especially Big Ten season. Obviously, the regular season, non-con Edey started out pretty hot, but it was against some inferior opponents. But the start of the Big Ten season, Edey wasn't, he was getting used to the physicality and all that. But the way he's improved just in Big Ten play alone has been pretty remarkable. And then obviously we've seen what Jaden can do just as the season progressed. I wish he never got hurt, because it'd be crazy to see where he'd be at now if he not gotten hurt.
Yeah, and it's easy to look back. I mean, we lost the Clemson game without him and without Eric Hunter too. Of course, the one loss from earlier season that now irks us all, and I think it irked us all at the time, was Miami. Of course, that's the one that sticks out on the resume. But it is what it is. I mean, this team's really, besides Michigan, even Michigan, it was without Sasha. Besides Michigan, this team hasn't gotten their doors blown off.
No,
which kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Excuse me. Yeah, it's like, God, we haven't had a just don't show up type of game at all. It's like, now is not the time to have one of those.
No, if you're gonna do it this week, not next week.
Yeah.
We've had halves where we don't show up, but we haven't had complete games, I guess. So, yeah, these young guys, has been fun to watch. They've been maturing and growing and developing as the years went on. But that Wisconsin game, just going into it, I was just like, contain Trice, and did pretty good job on it.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I thought we were definitely the better team, which is weird to think considering they had pretty much their entire team back from their Big Ten championship team last year. But I thought we were definitely more talented, and I definitely liked our big men a lot more. Obviously, they said Trice is a gamer, and Davison has his moments, whether he's hitting shots or taking shots at people, one or the other. He's always taking shots somehow.
Very true.
But yeah, it was it was one of those things where I feel like we had to win it just to kind of cement ourselves as an upper echelon team. It was a top 25 win at the time. Look at the box score here. I mean, you looked at it said Edey led the team with 21 points, Jaden with 18. The only other player to score in double figures was Aaron Wheeler, he's put together a couple really good games.
4 in a row.
Yeah, 4 in a row. We all know my love for Wheeler, so I've been really happy to see him.
Better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's probably played his best he's played since, late in his redshirt freshman year. Just a little disappointing game from Hunter. Only had 2 points. Sasha only had 4, even though he played 33 minutes. Sasha actually played the most. But
I don't remember him shooting that much that game.
He shot 1 3, and then he was 2 for 5 from the field. Didn't shoot a free throw. Travion 9 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Played 22 minutes. But yeah, I mean Newman had played a bit, only scored 1 point. And it was a free throw, obviously, over 5 from the field, over 2 from the 3. So he's definitely been struggling.
He's got some turnover problems going. You can tell his confidence has been hit a little bit.
Right, but he's also one of those guys. I think he can any game he could step up and.
Yeah, we're gonna need him to.
Yeah, and man, he hit a big shot. I feel like he hit a nice little shot in the Indiana game that, as they were creeping back because they were fighting back every time I thought we could get a chance to blow them out. We let them creep back in, but then we never really let them get within one possession. I don't think. But yeah, I mean the Wisconsin game was a physical game as it is against Wisconsin, and it's one of those teams that feels really good to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Only got him once this year, so it was nice to beat him. Nice to get him now,
right?
Than early in the Big Ten season when it seemed like we got all the other big boys that we only played once. Illinois, Iowa, Michigan. Michigan was a little later than the other two, but yeah, good win like you said. And then the one thing that concerns me a little bit, and it's probably something stupid that's concerning me, but Eric Hunter's free throws late in games lately.
No, I think it's the fact that he did it again in the Indiana game, that what made me concerned. It's like, oh my God, this is again not the time to be doing this. I hope it's just a little mental thing that he can get through. Maybe he just needs to make a couple more shots in the game. I mean, because Minnesota or the Wisconsin game, he was 1 for 5, 0 of 2 from 3, and in the IU game he was 0 of 4 from field, 0 of 2 from 3. So
yeah.
You hope that's one of those things. I mean, hopefully he can get some shots early and get some confidence. It's probably what it is. I mean, obviously we have no idea, but that is a little concerning given he's, we need him in the game at the end of the games because of his defense. But if you're that much a liability on offense with free throws, I mean, that's probably the reason why we kind of sub in Edey and Trey in games at the end, because Trey is not a good free throw shooter right now.
That's one thing I'll give Isaiah Thompson credit. He's proved he can hit some big free throws late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but Hunter cuts to the ball better. So
right, he's a little bit bigger. I mean, not much bigger. A little more physical. I mean, I thought Ivy's been really awesome down the stretch with free throws, which I thought his free throws weren't that great early in the year. Unless I'm misremembering.
No, you're right.
But Newman's a good free throw shooter. But yeah, it's we need Hunter. We need Hunter in the game late. We need
for a lot of reasons, but also free throw shooting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good win. And then we had arch rival Indiana Hoosiers coming in Saturday. And this was an interesting one because they've been reeling a little bit. They've been going in the opposite direction. Didn't know where their minds were going to be coming into the game, who was going to be healthy for them, who wasn't.
Right.
Armand Franklin was a game-time decision, ended up not playing. He's missed the last handful of games. Race Thompson was a game-time decision. He did end up playing with a broken nose and a mask. But Race Thompson and Al Durham, being their 2 lone seniors, had never beat Purdue, so you knew they'd be wanting to get them a win. And I'm sure the players are tired of hearing about it from their fan base and then the coaches and all that. But it was weird. I was not nervous.
No, I wasn't either.
Until the game started. It was just really weird. Yeah.
I was talking to my dad before the game. We were getting lunch, and I was like, man, this is probably the most confident I've been in a long time going into one of these games, and I hate it. Just because I know early in the year when we were playing down in Bloomington, I did not feel good about it. I felt awful going into the game last year in Bloomington for Bobby Knight Day. I just probably feel a little better when we play at Mackey, for obvious reasons, even though the crowd wasn't there, unfortunately. But yeah, I was feeling very confident until about the second half. I think they cut it to 4, and I was like, oh my God, do not this now. You cannot do this now.
Once the game got going, and it's been weird this way all season, I just haven't got too nervous. I think the most frustrated I got all year was the at Maryland game. That was the one game I remember getting really mad and yelling at the TV. Besides that, I've been pretty good this year. I don't know why. It's like
that Minnesota game, just because those are games we didn't take advantage of the opportunity when we had it.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, we were right there. Yeah.
It was that was just an ugly game just because of all the. I mean, both teams were playing good defense, but not so much to where the turnovers were reflective of how good the defense was. It was just a lot of just bad turnovers. I mean, especially from Trayvon, which was really disappointing.
He struggled.
Yeah, I mean, he had 5 turnovers. I mean, he led the team. He had a third of our total team turnovers. I mean, let's see here. Only one person who played did not have a turnover, and that was Aaron Wheeler.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Considering he's not the best off the dribble.
But yeah, it was. I'll be honest though, I never want to experience another IU Purdue game like this. And what I'm trying to get at here is, I thought the energy for this game was way lower than the first.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was just like the daytime Saturday game or what. I'm like, this feels dead. It just didn't even like.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't have the vibes.
It could have been, I mean, obviously, a young team who's hot right now versus a team who's, like you said, reeling. Maybe it was kind of a not overlooking, but maybe a little too confident and not expecting Indiana just to kind of roll over a little bit, just because obviously I think we are the better team. I think we have more talent, which is we don't get to say often enough against them. But yeah, it was really weird. Like I feel like the game started out, and usually these games you're starting out pretty tight, but I feel like this game was just we were too loose. I think it was Anish from Boiled Sports. He said it almost like actually we were playing a mid-major early in the year, and I couldn't agree more. I kind of felt like we were just going through the motions at the start, and like, we'll figure it out, which thankfully we did, but we got down 7-0 or something like that. And I was like, Then Wheeler hit a 3, which was that kind of jump started everything, and didn't really look back.
Yeah, it wasn't even not having fans, because that's just what it's been this year. Just something, I don't know if it was a mix. And I love the commentating duo. I think they're the best in the game. But it was just something that was just like off. It was just really weird. I don't know what was going on, but hopefully we don't have to worry about that next year.
Yeah.
But always nice to get the win over the Hoosiers. Like I said, 9th straight in the series. Been 1,843 days since Indiana's beat Purdue. That was February 20th, 2016.
Yep.
So just wild. Ray Davis here on our Facebook Live feed says a lot of mid-majors could beat IU. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could disagree with you there.
We've seen it happen already in the past with Indiana State and IPFW.
Yep. It's I'm not going to disagree at all there, but I think Indiana's got to make it to the Big Ten Tournament Championship just to get in the conversation of the bubble.
Yeah, and I think,
and even then they might just have to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean they fell hard.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not unfortunately.
No, it's not unfortunate.
But yeah, it was. It's crazy. I mean, they were for a while kind of like. I mean, obviously they weren't 4 or 5 seed, but it was kind of like they're pretty much in good sync because of the 2 wins against Iowa, and then something happened and just the wheels fell off. They lost that Michigan State game, and then what pissed me off was that really jump started Michigan State, because now we're going to see their stupid face in the tournament, in the big dance, I should say. So it's all their fault.
Yeah, we got the Big Ten tournament coming up this week, conference tournament week for most of all the Power 5 conferences, and even some of the bigger mid-major conferences. It was this week a year ago where everything went to hell. Everything, we had no idea 2 days later after a Monday that we would see everything shut down, and that's what happened. And the sports world and the world itself got flipped upside down, and we're still going through the motions. But at least we're going to get a conference tournament, and it looks like an NCAA tournament since we're a week away. It's going to be different, but we're going to get it. It beats not getting it.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be weird watching the Big Ten tournament from Lucas Oil. I'm wondering if they're going to have because I know they've got the Final Four court there now. I wonder if they're going to swap it out, or if they're going to put a sticker on it, or we're just going to just see the Final Four logo.
I would think they'll put a sticker on it, but
that's a big sticker.
It could probably cause some traction issues, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out the Wednesday night.
Yeah, 2 nights from now. But I do have some Big Ten tournament facts written down and some notes about all the Big Ten teams this year. Big Ten tournament facts. This actually isn't a Big Ten tournament fact. It's just a Purdue fact. Purdue is the first Big Ten program to sweep Ohio State, Michigan State, and Indiana in 2 regular season series since Illinois in 1989.
Wow.
Yep.
Which, I mean, not knowing how the teams actually are, if you would have said we sweep Ohio State, Michigan State, and Indiana, it's like we're probably definitely winning the Big Ten, and we're probably top 10 in the country.
Yeah, it's wild. This is going to be the 23rd installment of the Big Ten tournament. Michigan State is the most wins with 32 and the best overall record at 32-16.
Gross.
They have the most titles with 6.
Gross.
Ohio State's second in titles with 4. Then Wisconsin's third with 3. Ohio State, though, has played in the most title games with 8, followed by Michigan State and Wisconsin at 7 apiece, Illinois with 6, Purdue and Michigan 4 apiece, and Iowa with 3. Indiana has never won the Big Ten tournament title and has only made the championship game once, and that was in a losing effort in 2001 against Iowa. Ohio State and Michigan each have had one of their Big Ten tournament titles vacated. Michigan's was the very first one, and Ohio State's was 2002, I believe, for sanctions.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sanctions on both programs.
Wow.
Purdue is 14-21 all time in the Big Ten tournament. A lot of those wins have come as of late.
Yeah.
Indiana's 13-22, so neither program is historically very good in this.
Especially considering a lot of times it's in our friggin' home state.
Yeah, every other year, or for a while there was 5 years in a row. Northwestern has the worst record overall, 9-23. No surprises there.
Surprise there.
Indiana and Purdue have only met once, and that was in the very first one.
They've had definitely a couple opportunities, but usually one, or if not both, find a way to screw it up.
I remember back in, it would have been 2008, Purdue lost in overtime to a terrible Illinois team, and then Blake Hoffarber hits the shot and beats Illinois, so the ticket value went from high to –
Yeah. I think, we had a buddy who was supposed to go to assuming it was going to be Purdue, Indiana. They got to watch Minnesota and Illinois.
Yeah, tickets literally went from like $200-some to $40 for good seats.
How often have you gone to the Big Ten tournament?
That was my first one I ever went to, was 08.
Okay.
Went to 08, I went to 09, I went to 2010, went to 2011, went to 2012, and then I went to, I got to think here, 2016, 17, 18, 8 of them.
Wow.
I believe.
Nice.
All in Baker's Life and one in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, for you to go.
I know you went to one in the United Center.
Yeah, that was actually the first one I ever went to, and it wasn't even a Purdue game. It was Illinois versus Wisconsin for the championship, and it was, I think, Wisconsin won. Who was their point guard back?
Devin Harris.
Devin Harris. Yeah, I think they won it that year. That's one of the my hatred for Devin Harris was born at that year. Apparently, unfortunately, I never liked him moving forward.
He wasn't even a bad dude. There's been many more unlikable Wisconsin guys than him.
I don't know why. I think that's my first memory. I went to the championship game in 2009 when we beat Ohio State. I think that was the second time I went. Oh, wait, no, I went to the 2007 tournament when we played Ohio State when they had Greg Oden. It was when we had just beaten Iowa to kind of clinch a tournament berth for the first time in a couple of years. I remember I was sitting pretty close for that game, and that was right when Greg Oden was starting to shoot free throws right-handed again, and I let him know he shot free throws better left-handed, and he proceeded to cash them right-handed, so he showed me. I went 2009, and I went to one, I think in 2016, we played Michigan State. No, we played in the semifinal. I went to a Saturday game, and then we went to playing Michigan State in the championship, and we lost.
Michigan in the semi.
Okay, yeah. I went to that one. I think that might have been one of the last ones I went to. I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't. I've been to 7. I forgot about the stupid one in Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
We lost. I didn't go to that one, so I've been to 7. But yeah, and one of the other ones we looked like we were going to play Indiana was in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, because they got up huge on Rutgers on Thursday night, and then Rutgers came back and beat them. That was wild.
They had Geo Baker. They had
and Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders.
Sanders. because they went off on us that Friday night. That was a battle. We got lucky that year. We had to play them in Penn State instead of Indiana and Ohio State. So,
Yeah.
But, yeah, Big Ten tournament's always fun. It's got to be different this year. But I got a few observations on every Big Ten team here. Actually, let's go. We'll predict games, and while we bring up the opponents, I will talk about my observations. But we got Ray, one of our loyal viewers here on Facebook, has a comment hoping Ohio State gets taken out so we don't have that dreaded third matchup. Always seems harder to win that third one after winning the first two. Absolutely.
I don't think there's been many instances where we beat a team 3 times in a season. I think
Penn State's the most recent I can remember.
Yeah. So Alan Carver got something on Gold and Black and it was not a very long list.
It's unbelievable tough to be a team, and I agree with you. But we have to hope for Northwestern or Minnesota to beat them. I don't see that happening.
I don't see that. Especially with Minnesota with their injuries.
Speaking of that game, that is the first game Wednesday night at 6:30. Minnesota Northwestern. I got some notes on them here. Minnesota has played the most home games by far of anybody in the conference. They're 13-4 at home, 0-10 on the road. In Northwestern, they started season 3-0 in the conference, and they went 0-13 in the middle, and then they're 3-0 to finish.
Okay, so they're peaking at the right time.
Who are you taking in that one?
I just have not been impressed with Minnesota as of late. I think I'm going to pick Northwestern just because I mean, so who's hurt with Minnesota is Robbins. Is Robbins out?
Been dinged up, and Kalishar's out.
Kalishar, that's what I'm thinking of. And I mean,
that's their number 2 and 3 player right there. So in my opinion, Johnson's pretty good too. But
I'm picking Northwestern. I mean, they haven't won. They haven't won away from home. So I mean, what's a neutral site game going to be any different for them?
I think they're. I think Patino's in trouble.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Ah, man,
I think he is. I mean, it's unfortunate for him with the injuries late in the season, but I think, if he.
I mean, I don't know Minnesota.
I see him getting fired over Archie.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't made up my mind on Archie yet. I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Patino's buyout's a lot smaller. I know they're more of a football school than basketball school, but
I don't know their history of basketball, so it's like, I mean, it kind of reminds me of like Penn State a little bit. I don't know. It's just like, what are you going to do? Like, I mean, again, I mean, you have to get to a point. Same with like Collins at Northwestern. It's like he's not been good lately, but also it's like, granted for him, it was like he did the one thing that no one else has been able to do. But it's like, okay, do you sell just for 12th, 13th in the Big Ten every year just because of that one year that he had a good squad? I don't know, but
that's a great point.
Yeah, I think Patino's. Just because of COVID, I feel like he's around one more year.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting situation. Nebraska and Penn State, 2 interesting teams here. Penn State has lost 7 games this year by 5 points or less or in overtime. So they just can't get it done in the close ones. In Nebraska, all I got is they're better without Teddy Allen.
Yeah.
He must have been a cancer in the locker room.
Yeah, I didn't really know much about that this whole situation. Who did Penn State win the other night?
Yes, they beat Maryland yesterday after being down 16.
That's right. Yeah, Penn State beat Maryland.
I like Penn State in this one.
I think Penn State. Yeah, they're one of those teams that if they chuck it, so if they're hitting, then watch out.
And then Thursday. We got Michigan State and Maryland. And Michigan State here, interesting little resume they got going on.
Yeah.
Why am I not seeing them here? There they are. They're 4-10 versus teams projected in the tournament by Joe Lenardi. But 3 of those wins, 3 of the 4 against the big boys.
Wow.
Illinois, Iowa, and Michigan.
Wow. I think just the way that Maryland's been playing poorly as of late. I mean, you're talking about a coach in trouble. Turgeon might be in trouble just because of how they've fallen. And I mean, Michigan State's been playing really well, and I hate it. I think Michigan State wins, and I would not be surprised if it's a double-digit win.
I think Michigan State wins as well. I think Maryland has to have this game to get in. If they lose, I don't think they're in the tournament.
So
I think they have the most pressure on them out of any team going into the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I would agree. So do you think if Michigan State loses, do you think they're still safe? You think? Yeah,
Barely, but I think
they've
yesterday got them
got
in.
some very impressive wins, which is
Yeah, but Maryland's sweating. And Turgeon, I think he's safe, even if they don't make it. But if they don't make it, I think his seat's burning next year, in my opinion. But we got to remember they tied for the Big Ten championship last year, weren't able to play in the tournament because of COVID.
Hey, Indiana tried Tom Crean after a Big Ten championship.
You're right. You're right. So
yeah, yeah. I think if he doesn't make it, there. I mean, it can be interesting if no one gets fired in the Big Ten this year. It's going to be really fun to watch. Just some of these coaches just like hanging on by a thread next year with
absolutely
living and dying with every game.
Absolutely. Then on Thursday we have Indiana and Rutgers, and Rutgers, they're 4-8 versus teams projected in the tournament. Really, in my opinion, the one thing helping them get in the tournament's their Illinois win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they losing last week. I'm like, by about 30 or whatever was the Nebraska. Yeah. I'm like, get them out. They don't deserve to be in, but I think they're in. Even if they lose to Indiana, I think they squeak in.
Yeah, if they
first
lose,
next is 91.
Yeah, if they lose, I think they're still gonna be sweating it.
Yeah,
because then you need to pray there's no upsets in these other conference tournaments where they're gonna steal a bid. Like if Gonzaga for whatever reason loses.
Yeah.
Like we saw a couple years ago at Houston. Yeah, I mean I don't know. I can't see like who would come out of the Big 12 that would be stealing a bid. That's a pretty good conference. I think Rutgers wins just because I don't know how Indiana figures this out before then, unless they get Armand Franklin back, which that could be kind of a little jolt for them. He's a really good player, but if he's not back, I just don't see it. Their guards have not been good enough to, especially when you got like Geo Baker, who's living for this moment. I just don't see them. If Franklin's not back, I don't see Indiana winning.
Indiana doesn't shoot the ball well enough, I don't think. Rutgers, got them both times they played this year. And, Rutgers, they're probably one of the more these two teams are probably two of the more disappointing teams in the league this year. Even though Rutgers was probably going to make the tournament, they were a lot better last year, and they shouldn't have been that way.
Yeah.
But Indiana, they 16 of their 26 games they've played are against teams that Lenardi has in the field.
Wow.
They're 3-13 in those 16 games.
Yikes.
They've lost in overtime to Wisconsin, Illinois, and Florida State. You flip those 3 games, they're probably in.
Yeah, especially you got those 2 wins against Iowa that was really kind of keeping them afloat, and then you flip maybe even just 2 of those, and you probably got an argument. Maybe if they win this game, then they're probably secure. But darn.
How the cookie crumbles there.
Nope.
I'm going with you, though. We got Rutgers.
Yeah.
So then we both have Northwestern playing Ohio State. Already talked about Northwestern. Ohio State, they've lost 4 in a row, including 3 at home.
Well, they're still top 10.
This year, they've lost 6 games by 6 points or less. That's why they're top 10, even though I don't agree with that.
I don't see Northwestern pulling this off. Ohio State's good. They've got great shooters. EJ Liddell's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Washington can go off and hit from anywhere right now. Arns is a sniper from deep.
Yep.
So it's fortunately I don't see us playing the Wildcats on Friday.
Nope. We can be hopeful for the Wildcats to go first, but I think we'll get the Buckeyes.
Western fans on Thursday, but I don't see it happening.
And we both have Penn State playing Wisconsin on Thursday. And Wisconsin's the oldest team in the league. This is going to make you laugh, Evan. They're 14-2 when Bo Browski doesn't ref their games.
Oh my God.
2-9 when he does. That's why Greg Gard says every effing time, Bo. He's got a reason to complain there.
Oh my God. Well, I guess I just need to know who's got the assignment for that game.
Will Bo be refing the Penn State Wisconsin game on Thursday night? This will be a good one. Yeah,
and I'm tempted to pick Penn State. I don't know if it's just because I haven't been a believer in this Wisconsin team all year, just because I just
They fooled me earlier.
Yeah, I was just kind of just for my disdain for them at times, and Brad Davison mostly. I didn't want to believe in them. I thought they were a fraud last year, winning the Big Ten. Part of that like 3 teams who tied.
3-way tie with Michigan State and Maryland.
Yeah. Man, this is a tough one. Just because
I'm going Bucky, but I won't be surprised either way.
Yeah, I think I will too. Just because Penn State's been close, but they just haven't been able. They haven't proved that they can finish games consistently. And I think. Trice is such a good player, and you got. I think I'm gonna go Buck. I think it's gonna be close. But
and that gives us our Friday games. We get a third game between 2 rivals, Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan here, they're 9-2 against teams in the tourney that Joe Lunardi has an attorney, but they've played by far the fewest games against NCAA tournament teams in those 11.
Mm-hmm. I didn't watch the game yesterday, so I really didn't see what Michigan State was able to do. It was a low-scoring game.
Just played well. I mean, which I predicted that last week on the pod that they would split.
You did.
I got the splits right, and I just had that weird feeling. I hated it, but I think the Wolverines get it done if they meet up again.
Yeah.
And then we got the 4-5 game, Purdue, Ohio State. My Purdue notes here: 11-3 in the last 14 games. Lost 2 of 3 when Sasha was out. Played the big boys early, which really helped us, and we got a lot of them once. Illinois once, Iowa once, Michigan once. We did get Rutgers once and only Northwestern once, and then we end up, because of COVID, only getting Nebraska once.
Right.
So, but I'm still, even though we're playing so good, my big question mark is, are we for real? That's still my, deep down, I'm like, because I know we've talked off the air about this. Like, my goal for this team start of the year was just to make the tournament. Heck, I would have taken being on the bubble right now, to be honest. But the fact we're going to be in is great. Now I just want to win one game. Then everything else, in my opinion, is gravy. I know a lot of Purdue fans are thinking, no, Sweet 16 at least.
Which I know we're talking about that.
Which I get, but pump the brakes a little. Like, it's still scary. This team's still young. I think their best days are still ahead of them when hopefully we're able to have crowds and really enjoy it. Not that we're not going to enjoy a deep run if they have a deep run, because we will. We'll take it. But I'm just saying, it makes me nervous getting ahead of our expectations a little bit, because then if we get upset in the NCAA tournament, everybody's going to be in an uproar.
Yeah, hopefully cooler heads preval in that.
I hope so. But.
Yeah, I still want to pick us in this game. I still, just because I'm tired of losing our first game or an early Big Ten tournament exit. I'd like at least see us get one. This will be the first time we play Ohio State where they've got a full squad, because the first time they didn't have EJ Liddell, the second time they didn't have CJ Walker, which I don't consider that big of a loss, but whatever.
Too much sauce.
I think this is going to be another super close one, but I think we're playing really well right now. Hopefully give the guys some time to practice, and hopefully Travion kind of figures out what's going on. Hopefully he has a good game. I like this. I like to think we can win this one.
Good friend of the show and loyal listener and viewer, Thad Mooney, I think he hits the nail on the head really right here. He says, talent is for real, still young, and hate to say it's still bound to stumble.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Which, if we stumble, I'd rather it be on Friday.
And that's what I'm predicting. I hate it. I think it'll be a close game. I can see it going either way, but it is, like Ray said earlier, it is hard to beat a team 3 times. We even mentioned it. I think the Buckeyes squeak it out, but I'd rather lose now, get a little extra rest, than lose early in the NCAA tournament.
What I do like, though, even though we won, was just because we turned it over so poorly. I think that gives Painter and the staff a reason to really get after them this week going into it. It's not like we played a perfect game by any means, and being the fact that we played pretty sloppy, I think that I think you'll be able to get their attention.
Yeah,
to be able to kind of hone it, kind of really focus in on, doing the little things.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. So then we both have Illinois playing Rutgers. Illinois, they're really the one Big Ten team that I would say didn't have any bad losses all season.
No.
Their only losses are against teams that are going to make the NCAA tourney. This is interesting. They're 3-0 against the top 4 teams in the Big Ten, and they're 10-0 against the bottom 5. But they're 3-4 against the seeds 5 through 9.
Interesting.
Because they lost They lost to Rutgers, Michigan State, Ohio State. I'm blanking now. Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other?
I can't. Yeah.
Somebody else. Yeah. So, but I like the Illini over Rutgers.
Yeah, I think the fact that they didn't get a chance to play in the tournament last year, I think they're really focused right now.
I've played one in 8 years.
That is true.
I'm reminded of that tonight.
I think they're pretty pissed off that they didn't get a co-Big Ten champ title.
They are. Their fan base is big time.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be, whether it's, valid or not, that it's a great, it's going to be an easy way for the staff to get, have everyone have a chip on their shoulder. I think they want Michigan so badly in the championship, and I think they want to do exactly what they did to them the first go around. So I think Illinois rolls in this one.
Then Iowa against Wisconsin. You picked Wisconsin, right? Over Penn State.
Yeah.
Iowa against Wisconsin. Iowa's 9-4 against teams that are predicted in the tournament. 3 losses to teams that are projected not to make the NCAA tournaments. Big question is, how bad is Joe Wieskamp injured? He went down with an ankle injury yesterday, and he was 5 for 5 shooting before that.
Yeah, that's a huge question. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you should Wisconsin's going to win that game, but they were playing really well, and then freaking Bo and Carstensen made the ref show and slowed that game down like crazy at the end. It was unwatchable. They're playing so much better now that CJ Frederick's back in the lineup. But yeah, that's a huge question mark is Wieskamp, because he's a great player, really good shooter. I haven't heard anything about it, but I still think Iowa's got a little bit more talent.
I agree with you.
It has way more talent, actually, let's be honest.
I agree with that. I think Iowa gets it done in another close one.
Yeah.
So you have Purdue against Michigan. I have Michigan against Ohio State. Give me your prediction first.
I think Michigan wins, but I think it'll be closer than it was the first go around, just because we'll have Sasha. Hopefully that's, some motivation for the guys. The first go around wasn't, who we truly were, but Michigan they're so freaking good right now. They're definitely, up there in the conversation.
Even though they did stumble twice this week.
They did.
Got blown out once.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. I just think they're more talented right now. And
tough matchup for Purdue.
Tough matchup. Yeah, they're old. We're super young. Hopefully that's us in a few years. They're fun to watch. But I think Michigan gets it done.
I'm taking Michigan over Ohio State. I think it'd be a good one, just like their matchup in Columbus was.
Yep.
But I like Michigan a little better. Then we both have Iowa against Illinois. They only met once, and Illinois got the better of them by 5 points.
I think Illinois gets them again.
I'm going to go reverse and take Iowa. And the Wieskamp thing's really tough for me to predict. Yeah. But assuming he's okay, not a lot of people are talking about Iowa right now, and I still think I don't believe in their coach, but I think they're talented to do some damage. So I'm going to go Iowa and Michigan in the finals, and you're going chalk with Michigan and Illinois. Who do you got?
Yeah, I know. I feel like they're the team that's best equipped for a deep run.
Absolutely.
But we've seen it. They're also very vulnerable for an upset. Yeah. Our good friend is an Illinois fan. He's just predicting a loss to a 16 seed in the first round.
Yes, he's very nervous thinking about it.
Yeah, so it's I just think this, and I could be looking into it too much, but I just feel like they wanted something out of the season, and whether or not it happens, if they lose in the championship, if they don't win the Big Ten tournament, they didn't win the Big Ten, and if they don't get to a Final Four, it's like, man, this is your best team you've had in forever. We can get to Elite Eight, and that's awesome, but it's like, man, what do you have? You don't have any hardware.
It would remind me of our 17-18 team, second 100%. Best Purdue team I've seen in my lifetime, and we got second in the Big Ten, second in the Big Ten tournament, and got Sweet 16.
Yeah, I
great season, but it was.
I don't even think we won our non-con tournament either. I think we played. I think we had something in the beginning of the season.
We went 1-2. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
And then we beat Arizona, and they were
40.
yeah, it was like a top 10 matchup, and then both teams had
that's
dropped.
right.
We lost to
Tennessee,
and then Western Kentucky.
yeah.
Hilltoppers.
Yeah, Hilltoppers. But I think Illinois is out for blood in this tournament.
I'm going Iowa over Michigan.
Really?
In the Big Ten tournament's weird. It seems like a lot of times the 1 seed doesn't win it, and I always like that 3 seed spot for what I was really hoping we'd get in the 3 seed more because
I don't want to watch the game at 2 p.m.
And I wanted to make sure I wouldn't have to
watch the game.
Watch the game, but wasn't meant to be. But I liked your comment about Illinois, though, having the potential to make the deepest run. I agree with you there, but also being vulnerable to upset. I think a lot of the teams in the Big Ten can make a deep run, but they're also all vulnerable to get upset. That's what's going to be wild because I could see the Big Ten having multiple teams in the Final Four or none.
Yeah. Or like I could see it be as far as like not even in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Which, oh my gosh, as much chest pounding as we've all done as Big Ten fans and the media's done with Big Ten, if we don't have at least one Final Four team or even one of the championship game, it's. I mean, you just add on to the fact that we haven't won a Big Ten team hasn't won since 2000. It's like
exactly, it's embarrassing, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like
we get there and just stumble.
Kind of like Notre Dame in football.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. A few more quick notes here about the Big Ten and as a whole. Big Ten played 136 of 140 games.
That's impressive.
Nebraska at Purdue wasn't played because it ended up being meaningless for the tournament because they could have been played if needed to be. Mm-hmm. Michigan at Penn State didn't happen. Indiana at Michigan at Northwestern. That's why Illinois fans are mad. Michigan didn't play 3 games.
I would have to agree with them. I think they should be. I get the whole. I mean, I've said before, winning percentage is a thing, but man, it's like they played 3 more games. I mean, I know it doesn't always matter, but like, I mean, head-to-head matchup, they whooped them. Maybe they even played more road games or something like that. So I absolutely understand the frustration. I'd be furious if we were in this position. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yep, I would be furious too. But I mean, fans in the Pac-12 can be furious because Oregon won the conference, played less games than I think it was USC or whoever was second, and then Villanova won the Big East, played 3 or 4 less games than Creighton. So some other conferences are in the same boat.
Talk about a team that could be ripe for an upset is Villanova, just because they're losing everybody.
I think they'll be 4 seed, 5 seed. Yep, I think their start has gone down because of their injuries. Yeah, I mean that 5-12 game is always a very favorable, at least one every year. It seems like. So I mean, I know I'm gonna have a hard time not picking the upset. I guess it depends on who they're playing and who's healthy, but I might as well burn my bracket right now. I have no this is my least confident I've ever been in a prediction. Yeah,
and it's gonna be weird because I mean, and I was watching the video that I think we reposted last week or whatever about when it turned March of watching games from the tournament 2 years ago. It's like you're not gonna have any of that.
Nope.
I mean, you're gonna have some, but nothing to what it is like. Whereas like everybody's pulling for the underdog, and so you might not see as many upsets this year just because the winning team from the game before sticking around to cheer for the underdog. It's not going to be there as much.
Yeah, I think ratings will be great because we didn't get a tournament last year and everybody's missing the tournament, but it is going to be weird. I mean, I think people will be watching and it's like, this isn't as fun, especially if you're not a diehard college basketball fan, but it is what it is. Hopefully it's the only season we ever have to worry about it.
Did they give an explanation why they're doing Friday, Saturday as the first round rather than Thursday, Friday? Because
Friday, Saturday, then Sunday, Monday for the second round.
I hate that. I don't understand it.
I never did see an explanation. No. So I don't know. Got a few questions for you for the Big Ten here. These are all senior guards I don't think have futures in the NBA. I want to know if you think they'll be back or not next year for a potential 5th or 6th year. Jordan Bohannon.
Yes.
Okay. You think he'll be back for like his 10th year?
I think he's the Wisconsin route where everybody is 35 years old and they've got a nice 401k set up already. I think so, just because I don't think he's going to be in the NBA. They're definitely going to take a step back next year without Garza. I don't know about Wieskamp, but that's the thing. I think almost Bohannon's going to be dependent on what Wieskamp does. I think if he comes back, I think it'd be more inclined for him to come back. I mean, he wasn't the same this year as he was 2 years ago.
He hasn't been the same since his hip injury.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know what the recruiting class coming in is like.
I don't think we'll see a lot of college basketball players return for their extra senior year unless they think their teams can do something.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys are probably just ready to move on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's not happy with the way he played this year, unless he goes off in the tournament or something like that. But I feel like he's had a very disappointing year. I mean, but that's without looking at any stats whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, maybe he wants to come back and have a better season, or maybe he just doesn't want to go overseas or doesn't want to go into the workforce. I don't know. But he's one that when I was watching the game yesterday, I was like, I feel like he'll be back next year.
Okay. Brad Davison.
I don't think so, just because they're losing everybody. Assuming
they could all come back and be like 35-year-olds.
I think he goes. Yeah.
Trent Frazier.
I was thinking about this yesterday.
There's rumors, according to our Illinois friend, that he could come back, but if he does, he might have to be like the main dude.
He'd be the main guy.
And what's his face? The other freshman they got.
Carbello
and Miller, but because Io and I assume Kofi, Io's definitely gone. I assume Kofi's got to go too. So.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Nick. I think unless he just loves college and loves playing for Underwood. He was one I was really torn about because I was trying to think about that yesterday, like who might come back.
Because like if Illinois loses not only Io and Kofi, but also Frazier and Williams, holy cow, do they take a step back?
Yeah. So then, if that's the case, does Underwood take another job? I don't know what would be open or what's a step up from Illinois. Ooh,
if they would get rid of Self, they like those past Illinois coaches with Self and a little shadiness again. I don't know.
I feel like
he would have to make a deep run in March to get.
Yeah,
because if he didn't, Kansas fans would be like, "Well, he didn't do that great when he's in the Big 12 with the Oklahoma State, even though they got the tournament as an 8 or 9 seed." But
Frazier, answer the question. I'm gonna go yes.
All right,
I feel like he's back.
Josh Langford from Michigan State. This would be his 6th year, I believe.
Interesting. Because you think if they have they make the tournament, have some decent success. If Aaron Henry doesn't go pro, he's back. They got a good class coming with Max Christie and I don't even know who else.
Yeah, they got another top dude. I forget his name.
Yeah, man.
But he might not want to compete with those young guys,
right? Yeah, I'm gonna go no. Just because I feel like not a lot are gonna come back, and I keep feeling guys are gonna come back.
Al Durham.
Oof.
A lot could depend on coach. And here's
but
my.
Does he want to play for a third coach? That's the point.
Even if Archie comes back or a new coach, when I look at the roster, what's going to change from this year to next year?
Right. Actually, did he play for Crean or did he? I know he was a Crean recruit, but I don't know if he played for Crean or if he was just a recruit and then came in.
No, he wouldn't have played if this is Archie's 4th year. He would have been a red.
I can remember. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh man, my girlfriend loves Al Durham. She thinks he's a really good guy.
I don't mind him. He doesn't seem to do anything against us. So.
I don't ill will towards him. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Just because I feel like if I'm assuming Trace Jackson Davis goes pro, you gotta think some guys are gonna transfer out. It's basketball.
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, I could see someone like Finney transferring out. I don't know why, but I feel like if, like you said, if Davis goes pro, what's going to change? I think Archie goes Hoiberg and just brings in a bunch of transfers, just because he's got nothing else. He's got nothing else to lose at this point.
Got one recruit coming in next year.
One recruit. He's a big man. He'll probably kind of fill in. Trace Jackson Davis goes pro. If Joey Brunt comes back, you've got him and Race Thompson. If it was Race Thompson,
I think Joey's done. Yeah,
really.
What I read the other day, it sounded like he wasn't so sure about coming back.
Actually, well, I wonder if Race will come back. That's another question too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I just think I think Durham's gone. I just feel like leave the mess behind and just go make money. He'll be able to make money somewhere.
Last one for you, Geo Baker. I was surprised I thought he was a junior, but it makes sense with looking back on Madison Square Garden and everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna go yes. I think he's back.
I think he's the most sure gone one out of the group.
Really? I guess. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
So what else? I mean, he probably has the best chance at the pros, or at least do some overseas out of those guys, and they make the tournament this year. What else?
That's true. Yeah, I'm changing. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I was selfish. I actually like watching Geo Baker play a lot, except when it's against Purdue. I think he's a gamer, but.
We got a comment here on Twitter on Periscope from Nicole. She's one of our followers on Twitter. I find it shocking that TJD is going to go pro with his complete lack of a jump shot. That's true. All the guy can do is dunk and gets the free throw line and doesn't even make those.
Flexes real well. He does that on the right hand. Gets the free throw line like crazy, but still isn't a great free throw shooter for as much as he gets.
That's the offensive skills of his dad.
In the wrong era.
Yeah, but his dad was a beast on the boards.
Yeah, his dad was a beast on the boards.
With Antonio.
I just feel like I feel like if he comes back next year, I don't know what else he can do unless he, obviously develops that jump shot. But he hasn't shown any improvement other than taking a few jump shots this year compared to last year. He's definitely improved, but he might be one of those guys who just wants to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And I think mock drafts I've seen, there's not a lot of Big Ten guys even in the first round aside from
Wagner's a top guy projected.
Yeah.
And everybody else is second round.
Yeah, Io's an early second round, but I think Jackson's in the 50s. So that could be the deciding factor. But again, I think I don't know if he's just checked out or what, if he just wants to. Brian Newbert had a really good point. I don't know if it was on the boards or one of his write-ups of you wonder what he was thinking he was thinking watching Purdue pound the ball inside with Edey when probably exactly what they told him they were going to do with him. But sometimes people just want the bright lights.
Before we talk a little spring football and wrap this up, I do have one segment I like to do on one of my other podcasts, Evan, but I want to do it with you since you're not only a Purdue fan but a Big Ten basketball fan. As we really talked a lot of Big Ten tonight instead of Purdue. That's okay. Word association.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
So I got every Big Ten team listed, one player from either the present team or one of their past teams. Give me a word or a couple words that comes to mind.
Try to keep it PG.
PG-13 is okay. But we'll go in alphabetical order. So starting with Iowa. Adam Woodbury.
I don't remember him.
I thought you were going to say eye poker. Remember he poked a dude in the eye?
Oh, that's right.
He's lengthy.
Yeah, I don't. Iowa guys all look the same to me. They all seem the same to me. I don't really pay attention to them a whole lot.
He was the dirty one who poked the dude in the eye.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Illinois, James Augustine.
Did he almost go to Purdue?
We were in on him. We were recruiting him pretty hard, but
he was a beast.
He was good. And I gave all these to our buddy who's an Illinois fan. I knew that was his favorite player. So some of these you're going to laugh because you're going to be wanting to go hear his responses because I set him up pretty good. Indiana, Will Sheehy.
Oh, my God. Anger. Because that was we were there when he flexed on the student section, and that was the most the angriest I've ever been in my life at a player on the opposing team. I've never wanted to jump out of I think we were upper arena.
Yeah, we were the first, second row.
Yeah, I've never had the urge to jump down and punch a player in the face more so than and of course we're getting our asses kicked, so that made it even worse. So couldn't do anything. But oh man,
I've never seen more middle fingers together.
Yeah, I think I was joining them.
You were double third. You were up standing up.
Oh my God! Anger doesn't even do it justice.
Maryland, Mellow Trimble.
It's coming to a bust, not the right word I'm thinking of, but just underwhelming.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he should have been so much better. I think they were thinking he was going to be a Yogi Ferrell type player, and he was good, but I think by the end,
king of the snapback.
Yeah, he was
throwing his head back and getting more calls on those than anybody I've ever seen. Michigan, Mo Wagner.
annoying because he was so good.
He was annoying. He was cocky, but God, he was good.
Flexing, and he doesn't even have that big of a bicep in comparison to some of these other guys. But yeah, his brother's good too, which is double annoying. But
brother's not near as annoying as he was. But Michigan State, Cassius Winston,
solid. He was just solid. I mean, we kicked his butt a couple times, so I really nothing bad against him.
Minnesota, Jordan Murphy.
I was a beast. He was a beast. I said beast already once before, but he was. He
was a definition.
Yeah. Hated playing against him. Loved watching him, but yeah, he hated
playing. 14 boards a game. Easy. He just couldn't box him out. He knew how to get the rebound angles. Nebraska was the toughest one for me to come up with.
That's what I know this is.
You've heard of the name. James Palmer Jr.
Okay. Honestly, forgettable just because I don't remember a whole. I mean, the same with Iowa. Like I don't pay attention to a whole lot of them. Don't really care.
He was a straight bucket. He has more points in a single season than anybody else in Nebraska history. I think it was a little over 800.
Really? Okay.
He was just a bucket.
When did he graduate?
2018, I believe.
Okay. So I thought, okay, yeah.
Why I brought him up is he banked one in against Illinois at the buzzer. Northwestern. I did this one on purpose too. Luka Mirkovic. Remember him?
Three ball. Didn't he hit some? Was he a 3-point shooter?
He was just the big foreign guy. He wore a face mask for a while, and he was always pumping up the crowd like this.
I think against Purdue, he nailed some threes, and I think he was throwing up the threes against us. I think so. That's why
he was very annoying.
Yeah, douche is another one. I don't know.
Ohio State, Aaron Kraft.
Douche.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Kramer wannabe.
Yeah, Penn State, Taylor Battle.
Oh man, I don't know if that's the right word, but crafty. I don't know if that's the right word for him. I mean, he was. I loved watching him. One of those guys. I wish he could have done. They would have done better for him, but it's Penn State.
Purdue, and you got to remember, I was giving this to an Illinois fan.
Mm-hmm.
John Hart,
Illini killer.
Yep.
God bless him.
We had lost 3 in a row with the best Purdue team I think we both either have seen in our life. Yeah. We were kind of reeling at the time, so we put John Hart in. We got a technical foul because he wasn't even in the scores book. It's 14 points, gets interviewed by Aaron Andrews after the game. Beautiful.
Yep. Hey, that was 5 minutes of fame.
And hurt his foot the next year when I thought he was the 3rd best player on Purdue's team the next year, and he hurt his foot and was never the same, ended up transferring. Rutgers, Geo Baker.
Baller.
Very well said. Wisconsin, Sam Decker.
Shooter. He was a good shooter. Yeah, it was on one of those. I mean,
Davison, didn't you?
Huh?
You thought I was going to say Davison, didn't you?
I thought you were going Frank Kaminsky.
I thought about it. I definitely take somebody.
I had Tank in my head all ready to go. I thought you were doing Frank the Tank. Yeah, Decker was a great player. I mean, he had played on some great teams. Obviously, those Final Four teams. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was a good shooter. Yeah.
Before we get to Spring Ball, why don't you hit us up with what Mad Mush has got going on?
Yes, sir. Pull up here. As always, as every week, Boiler Breakdown is brought to you by Mad Mushrooms, serving Boilermakers since 1993. Mad Mushrooms, located in the heart of West Lafayette, is well known as the home of the original cheese stick. But whenever we like to visit, we like to sit down, have an ice cold beer while enjoying their latest pizza of the month, which this month is the spaghetti and meatball, which is their signature pasta sauce topped with spaghetti noodles, meatballs, mozzarella cheese, and finished with a garlic and Parmesan crust. Next time you're in town, stop in and tell them Boiler Breakdown sent you for $5 off any order over $20. And any Boiler Breakdown listener can also use the coupon code BREAK5. It's all caps, BREAK 5. Reclaim the discount code online at madmushroom.com. Mad Mushroom, feed your head.
Looks pretty good to me on that image. I like spaghetti. I like meatballs. I like pizza. So I'd be totally willing to give that one a try.
Absolutely.
So, yep, like Evan said, use that coupon code when ordering online, or just stop in and tell them the Boiler Breakdown sent you. $5 off any order over $20, and we appreciate them being a sponsor of the podcast for the whole season so far.
Can't wait to hopefully get down there when
we'd love to see if we can work something out with them to do a live feed or something from their place sometimes.
Football season, yeah.
Speaking of the pigskin, spring practice has been underway, and it's only got 11 days left.
Yeah, I was listening to I think it was a Sunday conversation, and they said that Alan Karpick said that for Golden Blacks that spring football is going to end before spring actually technically begins.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm in such a basketball mode right now. It's a hard.
Oh yeah,
it's been I haven't been keeping up with it as much as I should, but
it's everybody's injured.
yeah, but I mean every time they're doing their whoever is putting those videos together is doing it right, because every time I watch one, I'm pumped up for the season, which is, given the last 2 years, I was definitely a little worried about how my enthusiasm was going to be going into this year, just because it's a prove it year for sure. But I'm so far, I mean, obviously no results yet, but I'm loving the staff that we put together, that Brahms put together on the defensive side of the ball. You kind of texted Andrew and I put the video about Mark Hagan. I don't ever really remember Hagan as a coach back then. I never really paid attention to assistant coaches, but yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
All the coaches have been impressive on their little intro videos. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the defense is one of the first 2 scrimmages. Mm-hmm. Brahms is more hands-on with the defense right now, so everything on the defense side sounds pretty good.
Apparently, it sounds like they cannot stop Karlaftis, which I don't know if that's an indictment on the offensive line.
Literally, it's just dominating practice. Yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah.
Which again,
I heard about Kerrigan going to his junior year.
I hate about inter-squad scrimmages. Like, okay, is he that good, or is our offensive line just
I know
bad?
I know it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what these new defenses. Offense, I think needs to step up a little. Needs to step up a little bit just in terms of consistency. And obviously, we didn't really have much of a run game last year, so I think I'd like to see that. But what I've been liking is just the tone of Coach Brahm and his interviews. I mean, maybe that just speaks to how miserable things were for the staff last year.
I think we'll never know. It sounded pretty bad.
Yeah, because he didn't act like seemed like he was enjoying himself last year, which he was losing, and he's a competitive guy, so obviously it's not enjoying it. But it just felt like he just didn't want to be there, like, at all. Was miserable. But it sounds like, again, it's spring ball. We're not in the heart of the season, so things could change by September, October. But I think the tone definitely is a lot better, and it sounds like there's a lot more collaborative effort between all the coaches, which is good to hear.
The one thing I hope they get sharpened up from the reports is the kicking game.
Oh my
God!
God!
Every time they say they're not happy, it's so much of punting, it's the kicking. It's like,
yeah,
guys, we're gonna have to get this figured out, because we were pretty lucky. Dellinger ended up being a pretty solid kicker. Mm-hmm. Spencer Evans was solid before him. We've been pretty fortunate, and we could be in some squeakers, and it could come down to the right leg of the kicker or left leg if we have a left-footed kicker.
Yeah,
we'll see very often, but
yeah, I don't like that at all.
No,
it's just being a Bears fan. This goes to the double jump. I said, don't put it at the feet of the kicker, and we did, and they don't want that to happen to us.
No, we've seen bad kickers before in Purdue, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
This is a terrible question, but would you rather have a solid punting game and a mediocre kicking game, or mediocre punting game and a solid kicking game?
Mediocre punting, solid kicking.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I was going to go opposite, just because if our offense is stalling, man, punting to the opposite 40-yard line is not. And granted, also I'm going off of last year's defense where we're going all that. But if our defense is going to be solid, then who cares where we give them the ball? But just you can flip the field so easily with the punting game.
I guess I was going more in the points direction.
Yeah.
Keep getting red zone, keep missing your points. Like, oh my God.
I'm just expecting our offense to be so good that we don't even need it.
I hope so.
2 points every time.
Yep. So we got plenty of football talk in future episodes. We're in the basketball mode, but I know spring ball is going on. Some people want to know what's going on, so I'll try to keep y'all updated a little bit. Should remind everybody that the Boiler Breakdown podcast is also brought to you by Webb's Family Pharmacy. Webb's Family Pharmacy is an independently owned community pharmacy with stores located in Rochester, Akron, and North Manchester, Indiana. For all of your high-quality medical equipment, supplies, and pharmacy services, check out www.webrx.com or give them a call. Webb's Family Pharmacy, the professional pharmacy with the hometown touch. They got anything from, you can get your prescriptions there, you can get your over-the-counters, not only do
PPE.
that, what's that?
PPE.
PPE. Not only that, but they have a great gift shop too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're looking for a birthday gift or whatever you want, or way early Christmas shopping, sometimes you find something that'd be good.
Late Valentine's Day gift. You never
Late
know.
Valentine's Day anniversary present coming
There
up.
you go.
They got a lot of really, really great things. So stop into one of their pharmacies if you haven't ever been there, Rochester, Akron, or Manchester. You won't be disappointed. Boiler owned and operated. And the Boiler Breakdown is also brought to you by Schroff Landscaping Nurseries. Schroff Landscaping has been in business for over 50 years and can handle all of your landscaping needs, including landscape design, maintenance, irrigation, hardscaping, cleanup, and they are licensed lawn applicators. Contact them today for all of your landscaping needs at 574-223-2769. Schroff Landscaping Design with you in mind. And I know they are looking for some help right now. I saw an ad on Facebook. They're hiring multiple landscape labor positions. Email a resume if you're interested at schrofflandscaping@gmail.com. They're looking for seasonal full-time positions. It'll be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and pay is going to be based on experience. So if you got some landscaping experience, looking for a job or a change of scenery with your job, email them your resume at schrofflandscaping@gmail.com. You could probably also give them a call for more details at 574-223-2769.
Good people.
Yes, also boiler owned and operated. I should mention that as well. So, all right, Evan, any closing thoughts as the Boilers are rolling into Indianapolis Lucas Oil for the 23rd installment of the Big Ten tournament on Friday?
I still can't believe that we're here. One kind of a double meaning there. One, that the season's already over, essentially. It's like it just started not too long ago. But just also the fact that, we're in a position Purdue is obviously in a position where we're solidly in the tournament. Playing for a higher, potentially 3 seed. What was my question? What do you think it'll take? Because I think right now we're about a 4. I think it's what our consensus is.
Yep.
What do you think it's going to take for us to get to a 3?
I would like to think just one win over Ohio State would do it, but I think it still depends on what some other teams do. I mean, we could maybe move up to the highest 4 with one win. I would say win on Friday and Saturday, get the championship, definitely a 3.
I think I get the Sunday.
I don't think we can get to 2 at all, even if we won the whole thing.
Hey, we need a lot of help.
And I think if we lose Friday, I don't think that bumps us down to a 5. I mean, depending on what happens in some other conference tournaments, but I think we're pretty safely a 4. It could be a 3.
Yeah.
If we do a few more things.
Yeah. Back to my original thought, just the fact that we're, in this position to be, a 4. In the beginning of the year, it was, hey, let's just make the tournament, probably, a 10 seed didn't even care. But now we're, a 4, potentially, 3, maybe even a 5, but who cares at this point? It's just, it's just awesome what Painter's been able to do with this team and what the young guys have been able to do. I mean, going into it was like, hey, we got young guys, it's exciting, but we're going to go as our juniors go. But now it's like, man, our freshman class is carrying us right now, and these guys are really talented. Zach Edey bookended his freshman season with Big Ten Player of the Week the first weekend of the last week of the regular season, which is pretty cool. Jaden Ivey won it twice. Newman won it twice. Gillis won it once. The future is bright, and it's just really enjoying the ride. And hopefully everybody's back next year. Obviously, I hope we don't see any surprise transfers. But it's been a lot of fun. Way more fun than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be, we have some moments, but have some stumbles along the way, and it is what it is. But I've been really, really enjoying the season.
Very well said. I think next week we can hit on the Big Ten awards a little bit. They get announced tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming the big player of the year is going to be Garza. I think the freshman of the year is going to be.
You think Garza? I
think Iowa missing the 3 games sealed it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I think you take Garza away from Iowa, they're worse. Well, they proved it. They're worse. Or Illinois proved taking Iowa away, they could still win. Michigan, I don't think Iowa could win without Garza. So I think Garza gets player of the year. I think Howard, unfortunately, edges out Matt for coach of the year.
Yeah, I think certainly so. I mean, Painter's done a hell of a job, but Howard, they were predicted probably around the same position as us. I think a lot of polls, but
probably.
But they just dominated for the majority of the year. Who do you think defense player of the year is? I'm not even sure who.
Probably that dude from Rutgers, Johnson. Is that his last name? They got a real good defensive player. Rutgers, I think Johnson's his last name.
I'll trust you.
Brian Newbert voted him defensive player of the year. I was like, I think Eric Hunter's going to make all defense, but I don't know if he'll win defense player of the year.
Yeah. I don't think he's had – I mean, he's had a great season on defense, but, I think you're right. I think he'll at least make the team.
I mean, I think Edie and Ivy both make all freshmen, but they don't win the freshman player of the year. I think Brandon Newman's probably going to barely miss out on all freshmen.
Who do you think freshman year is going to be? Dickinson?
Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty – yeah.
Yep. So
he's a pretty a 20-year-old freshman who's 2 months younger than Trayvon Williams as a junior.
That's wild, isn't it? But and I don't think Trey makes first team. I think he'll be second team.
Yeah. I can't remember. Do they do it by position or just 5 best players?
I don't
because
remember.
You could easily argue that it's going to be Io and then 4 big guys.
Yeah.
But if they do by position, then it gets a little tricky.
It's going to be a lot of good guys on the second and third team.
Yeah.
So next week we'll know about that. We'll also talk where Purdue's going, of course, and give our predictions, all that good stuff. What arena are we going to be playing? And we'll have that scoop for you next week. And maybe it'll be Sunday night. If not, it'll be sometime early next week. Not sure what our schedule look like yet. But thanks for listening to this episode. Wherever you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review. That really helps us out. And if you haven't already, please give us our Facebook page a like. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Boilerbrake Pod, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. We'd appreciate that as well. So, Evan, let's boiler up, hammer down, and crack them nuts, beat the Buckeyes.
Boiler up.